I'm John Sack, founding director at HighWire. I'll look forward to meeting those of you I haven't met before. I hope that you enjoy the program that we've put together, also the facilities, the catering, and so on. What I'm going to do is give you a quick overview of what's going on in the agenda, what's new, what we're thinking about, and just sort of logistics. Just to be clear, because I think one of our announcements wasn't perfectly clear, the sessions start at 9 o'clock today and tomorrow. Breakfast is available at 8. We've changed a few things. One of the most notable is breakout sessions are only 45 minutes now. They used to be an hour, and we just found that that was a little too much time. For those of you who were at the Stanford meeting in the spring, we tried an experiment which you rejected. The experiment was chairs only, no tables. That didn't work out. So here you are with tables and your laptops and your email. Okay. I know that people are doing email because you're sending me email during the meeting. It's really clear. And I'm doing the same sometimes, so there you have it. The agenda's online. You also have some information in a folder. I will go through that in a minute. We're taking notes at the breakout sessions. The slides will be posted. You should have access to the slides at the URL on this screen. We're also going to put them on our website. We'll also share them more broadly. So there is a leather writing pad. It has in it excuse me. It has the agenda. Inside the agenda is a layout of the building, if you're not familiar with this building. Main meeting sessions are here. On the other side of a U shape is where all the breakout sessions are. There is also a happy hour raffle card in your portfolio. So the way that works is you have to visit each of our partners. I think there are 4 that you have to visit and get a little stamp or something, and then your card can go into the raffle. There are flyers about each of HighWire's major products, so some information there. There are some products that you might not have heard of. There is a dinner tonight that Ophir promises us will have great dinner choices. There's also, it's essentially a networking dinner with some music. One of the things we've worked better on is after each meeting, usually the first day of the week after, we put together a document on the community forum that has the agendas of all the meetings in one Word document. So if you ever want to find a presentation that you remember somebody talked about X, you can download that document from the community forum, do a word search, I think it's a Word document, and find that presentation. There'll be a link, and you can get access to the presentation. Give us until early next week to update the document. There's a document there now, but it doesn't have this meeting in it yet. So there are a couple of ways that you can get access to presentations now. There is quite a bit of product expertise in the room. So if you have questions about any of these HighWire products, of course you can check in with your account manager. They can get you to the right product manager, but I'd also like to get our product managers who are in the room to stand up. Jim, Alex, Eric, and Kenneth are here. Any of these people can get you to the right expert on any of these products. This is a meeting where, yes, HighWire does a bunch of talking, but much more so, you are talking to each other. And I couldn't pull that off if so many of you didn't say yes when I asked you to volunteer. And thank you to all of you. There are quite a few speakers who are making this meeting work for us. We have partners who are here. Listed here, they'll be at the reception and dinner tonight. We especially are welcoming our newest partner, Accucoms. More on that in Dan's talk. There are two people here from Accucoms, Pinar and Simon, both. And also welcome to our partner in progress. That is, with the paperwork isn't signed yet, but we're well along in having an agreement with PSI, and representative is here. It's okay to tweet the meeting, but please do it responsibly. That is, don't quote people without, if you attribute to someone, be sure you have their permission. Sometimes we forget that there's social media out there, some of us over 50. So please be responsible in tweeting. So just a quick look at the agenda packet. Information on the first page. There was a pre-meeting set of sessions yesterday. That's page 2. If you're interested in any of those pre-meetings and didn't go to them, just talk to any of us from HighWire about them. We'll direct you to the information. We know that not everybody can make pre-meetings. The meeting schedule is on 2 pages. 1 page is Wednesday. The back of it is Thursday. There's an innovation. And there's a map. As I said, the breakout sessions are on the other side of the U. There's also descriptions of each of the breakout sessions. We typically are running 3 breakout sessions concurrently. Read the information to see what is the best option for you, or if there are 2 or 3 of you from an organization, obviously you can spread out. And there is an attendee list. The attendee list includes people who are going to the pre-meeting sessions yesterday, so you might not see some of them today. Meeting evaluation. There's a blue, this is like old school here. We actually have printed evaluations again, as well as online. Another innovation we tried at Stanford was online only. That didn't work. We got way too few evaluations. So we offer the print option again. Those of you who do, print and online understand how this works. Please fill these out. Even if you're leaving at the end of the day today, please fill out the form. Dan and I read every single one of them and really take the feedback into account. Upcoming meetings. Usually we announce the dates for the next meeting and sometimes the next 2 meetings here. This time we're not ready to do that. We're working on changing up the Stanford meeting into a format where we're going to focus on maybe 2 or 3 specific topics, not themes. I don't do themes. Change is everywhere. I don't like that kind of stuff. But maybe focusing on very specific topics. So, for example, one of them might be artificial intelligence in scholarly communications. That might be one of 2 or 3 topics for the meeting at Stanford. And we'll be able to bring in experts as well. It's probably a smaller format. Some of you, Monica and I, were just reminiscing about how we used to meet around the Stanford board table in our early days of our meetings, because there were only about 30 of us in the room. And we might try a format like that where people will really be interacting with each other. So we'll announce the dates for Stanford and London around the end of November. The Stanford meeting will probably be in January or February to avoid some of the conflicts we get when we hold a meeting in March and April and May. And finally, we have colored badges. Different people have different colors. The HighWire staff all have a cardinal. You can call it red. Only Stanford calls it cardinal as a color. The particular, I want to call your attention to people who have a green badge. They're people who are attending their first meeting. And I'd really encourage you to say hello to those folks. It's part of being a community is to welcome newcomers, and let's all do that. Thank you very much. I look forward to talking with you during the meeting and getting your evaluation forms. And Dan, come on. Thank you.
Thanks, John. That's a little disconcerting because I'm going to have to change my speech. It was entitled Changes Everywhere, so we're going to have to go by off the cuff here a little bit. First of all, thanks everyone for attending the conference. We recognize everyone has very busy schedules, and taking time out to spend a couple of days here is not easy, especially for those of you that have to travel. And as John was sharing earlier on, the list of speakers and the amount of knowledge sharing that goes on here would not be possible without you attending. So again, thanks very much for taking the time to join us here. A couple of things also just to note. John mentioned that the new attendees are wearing green badges. I was looking back on the new attendees that we've had over the last couple of years. We have 20 new attendees this year. So there's 20 green badges out here somewhere. Last year we had about 18, and the year before that 11. So we seem to consistently be getting more and more new attendees, which is fantastic. So we welcome you, and thanks very much for making the meeting. Over the next 30 minutes, I want to walk through a few things. I want to give you some updates on things that have happened over the last 12 months, but also speak to direction going forward. And want to tackle that in a couple of different categories here. I want to talk about innovation, thought leadership, investments, and growth. So I'll tackle those four areas, and again, talk a little bit about things that have happened over the last year, but also talk about some of the direction going forward. So first of all, from an innovation standpoint, I just want to cover off some of the things that have occurred over the last year or so. In Q2 of 2017, we launched HTTPS as part of the platform, so enhanced security. I think probably most people are familiar with HTTPS. A couple things. One is the enhanced security, but also ensuring that people have a good user experience without getting the message on the screen saying that it's not a secure connection. And also there's continued pressure from Google and others to make sure that we're using HTTPS and it's not affecting the ranking. So we're ready to go. In fact, we've been kind of leading in this area. We've been ready to go for a while. We had 400 sites that we had up and running in 2015, but again, launched it as part of the platform in Q2 of 2017. So we're ready to go. Publishers need to be ready to go as well, but if you are, then we're ready to meet you and make that happen. Another very exciting initiative that we've been working on in collaboration with Google is the campus activated subscriber access. So this is essentially the ability, or something that we've worked on with Google and collaborated around, the ability to give off-campus access to verified users and make that a much more frictionless process for users. Huge challenge. We know that that's been a source of frustration for users, and in many cases has encouraged them to go to sites and locations that we probably would prefer them not to go to and rather repatriate them to your sites. So this initiative is significant and something that we will be continuing to invest in and work with Google going forward. The problem, again, is well understood. It's the ability to provide access to for users, whether they're on campus or off campus. And clearly the ability for us to clear that friction out of the process will make it much easier for users and for you serving those users. We also have been participating in and leading in a major way an initiative called MECA. And MECA is the Manuscript Exchange Common Approach. And essentially, excuse me, I've got a little bit of a frog in my voice, so I'll clear my throat a couple of times. I apologize. What we have been working on in that initiative is attacking a couple of major frustrations out there. So one is when Authors have to resubmit manuscripts. They have to re-input all of the data and so on. So that's the first challenge, which is a continuing source of frustration for authors. Oh, thanks very much. It's great. Good luck. I walked down the hall, and as I was walking down the hall, something flew into my eye, and now I've got a little bit of frog in my throat. I was telling John Inglis last night that I pulled the charger case out of my cell phone